All right, and we are live. Welcome, everybody. It's Show Me the Money Club. It's Tuesday. You know what time it is. So we have Sergio, myself, as per usual, and special guest Bryce from Solo. And we're going to be talking about that because it's a great tool for drivers. Whether you're food delivery, rideshare, in the gig economy, Solo is another great app out there to put into your arsenal. So let's get right into it. Sergio, what's going on? Bryce, thank you for coming on.
Guys,
Yes.
thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it. It's great to be here. Sorry, Sergio, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt you
no,
there.
no, no. We have a free flow going. Chris, how you doing? We're back for another Tuesday, and today, honestly, I think we have a pattern going on here. A couple of weeks ago, we had David Piccarello of Para, who
Yeah,
is also an ex-Uber guy, right? So
yeah,
today
that's
we
right.
have
I know
more and
David.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah, today we have Bryce Bennet, who is the founder and co-founder and CEO at the moment of Solo, which I think at these times is one of the best apps or driver tools that drivers can utilize to make more money. Because we're going to, once Bryce has done his segment, we're going to talk about a lot of different issues drivers are facing. But what better way to have the man who founded the company and has created the software to help drivers? Bryce, welcome. We appreciate it.
yeah,
And now
guys.
I'm going to act like I don't know anything about Solo, okay?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I'm gonna ask some dumb questions,
Let's
which
do it. Let's
there's
do
no
it.
dumb questions, right? So
No, not at
Let's
all.
I
just
mean,
get
I know
to the
everything about Solo, but I'm
questions.
gonna act like I don't know anything about Solo. So what is Solo, and how did you come up with it? Why did you think there was a need? There are three questions, but you go ahead always.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Solo is a mobile app that helps you manage and optimize your finances as a business of one. So if you're out there, and I've heard you guys say this quite a bit, right? You're your own business. You got to know your worth. And the reality is that even though many people are used to kind of employment relationships, you're an independent contractor in this space, right? And that means you kind of have to think about yourself in terms of income, expenses. You got to track your mileage. You're going to have a different tax situation at the end of the year. But on top of all that, you also have to think about where, when, and what job you work, right? No one's setting your schedule for you. And so, really, the premise of Solo is we do two major things for you today. We help you kind of manage the back office of your business, right? We track your income automatically in one place. So if you're working DoorDash and Uber and Lyft, we bring that all together in one spot, show you your hourly earnings. How are you doing relative to everyone else in your city? We track your expenses for you so you can add things like car mounts or cell plans, but also we track your mileage for you while you're on the job. And then we help you think about your tax projections for the year. So that's kind of the less maybe fun stuff, all the administrative side of this business. The cooler stuff that we do, though, for drivers is we give you a bird's eye view on your market. So we actually have two things. We have one thing called a Smart Schedule that's available in 25 cities across the country. And what it is it's a by hour, by job, forward-looking earnings prediction for the major gig jobs in your city. So we cover Amazon Flex, we do Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, Lyft, you name it, Walmart, Spark. There's dozens out there. We show you by hour what we expect those jobs to pay, top line, before expenses in your city. And so we help you set that optimal schedule so that you know which job to work when. You don't have to guess as much anymore. These are all marketplaces that kind of go up and down, right? And then if you'd like to, on the flip side of that, we also provide guaranteed daily pay. And so you can think about this as like an income floor. We use those predictions that I just mentioned, where drivers are earning about 20% more per hour on average. We actually use those predictions then to guarantee a floor for your earnings on the day, as long as you go out there and you work the schedule that you set with us, and you're out there and actively accepting trips and doing jobs. We set a floor for you, and anything you take home above that prediction is yours. And so it's really a way to try to take that income instability and anxiety out of your day, out of the picture, make this a little bit more of a stable, consistent, and reliable, set of work for you. And so that's what we do today. The background on this, and we were talking about this a little bit before we started, but I'm a former Uber employee way back 2012 to 2017. And my job at the beginning was, very face to face with drivers. We opened our office every day. I just was jumping in the back of cars to test seatbelts and, blinkers and brake lights. Eventually the support line ran through my personal phone in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. And And my co-founder and I got to know thousands of people through that process. And, we always said, I think there's a better way to do this for the worker, for the driver. And we can bring kind of the same type of software and data that the companies have to the worker and let them make the best decision for themselves and really kind of even the playing field here. So that's really where the concept came from over the past 10 years or so of us working in this space. And finally, we started the company a couple of years ago. And today we're 2 years in with more than 60,000 workers on the platform and in 25 cities, but growing quickly. So we're excited to bring it to the rest of the country soon.
Great. So, you went through a lot, so let me just break these
Yeah,
things
sorry,
down
it was
for
a
you.
lot,
So,
right?
so I'm going to go download the Solo app, right? Number one, you said you're 25 cities. I'm assuming they're 25 major cities, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the business side of this, your income, expenses, mileage tracking, all that, that's available anywhere in the United States, from Maine to California, Alaska, Hawaii. You can do the kind of core stuff with us. If you want the smart schedule and pay guarantee, we're in 25 cities across the country, mostly in the Midwest, in the South right now, Texas, Florida, kind of Midwest there. But we'll be coming to the Southwest, West Coast, and Northeast the first part of next year. So if we're not there yet, we'll be there soon.
Great. So, and the other thing that I like about Solo is because I think you have pretty much everything under one umbrella. Because in the old days, I remember my driving days when I still drive. I do deliveries and rideshare. Not as much as I used to because the pay sucks. But these days I'm more selective, and I've learned quite a bit, obviously.
Yeah.
So when it comes to you predicting, right? You're saying you predict these are the expected hourly earnings. Now, is those, we know in your previous job, you guys talk constantly about active hours. We don't talk about active hours but to me, the most important thing to me is, my own personal utilization rate, right?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of companies say, oh, you just go make $40 an hour. I'm like, yeah. But that's active hour. Active hour doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm out there, if my utilization rate is 50%, my online hour is down to $20 an hour before expenses. So when you say, where do you draw this data from, by the way? Do you draw it from Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or Instacart, whatever you have on your app? Or do you draw it as like a crowdsourced kind of information base?
Yeah, you can think about it kind of crowdsourced, but it's direct from the source. So it's not necessarily people inputting their own data. What we do is if you haven't signed up for Solo and you come in, one of the first things you'll do is you'll link your accounts with, if you're on DoorDash, if you're on Instacart, whatever, you'll log in with your credentials and we'll pass those through anonymously. And we link up your work accounts so that every so often, every few hours, we pull over that information into your dashboard on the Solo side. And if you ever use like Plaid for banking or anything like that, it's the same kind of technology, very secure. We use a third party that focuses and specifically does this. And so that's how we pull the data in. And then when we create the forward-looking earnings predictions, what happens is you could think about there's this thing called Glassdoor for salaried workers, right? Where it's similar, where your information, your job information gets stripped away from anything that's personal to you and then goes into a big pool of essentially your market's information to say, hey, the market data in Seattle or LA or wherever it might be, Buffalo, is specifically saying that, hey, we've got 1,000 data points for the lunch hour for DoorDash, and the average person makes about $14.50 an hour, but the upper bound is about 18 to 20 and the lower bound's about 10 to 12, right? And we can start to do the math on that to show workers like, hey, what does the band really look like here? Can you expect to earn? And how we do that, to your last point, Sergio, there, or your first point, I should say, but my last point is we think about that in terms of average hourly earnings. That does include wait time or online time. Every platform thinks about it a little bit differently, depending on whether you're ride sharing, delivery, or if you're doing grocery or something else. But we do think about that all up in terms of top line earnings. Our only requirement is if you want to take part in the pay guarantees, you just got to average one trip an hour is all.
Okay, so that's the next question I was going to say. Ask you. You do put up these guarantees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have to be really careful with that.
Yep.
You can't put up some super low ball number because then you're screwed, right? You're going to be out of cash. So how does that process work? Now, when you put up a number, right, and when you say one trip an hour, so if your number, let's see, just hypothetical, right? If you say, if you do DoorDash lunch between the hours of 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., which is lunch, right? Obviously, numbers are going to be higher because everybody's ordering lunch. So if it says, let's say, okay, we guarantee, Solo guarantees $20 an hour. Now, is that $20 an hour? What if I go just do, you said one trip, right?
Yep.
Within that hour, if I do that single trip and I only earn $8, so you're going to give me $12? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, so how it works on the full days, you guarantee your daily pay. So you do it by the hour, right, in your schedule. So let's say if you only did 1 hour, yes, Sergio, yeah, your example would be correct. Typically what we see is people, go in and schedule somewhere between 3 and 6 hours a day, right? And they'll build up their optimal schedule with our tool and say, maybe I'm going to do DoorDash over lunch period from 11 to 1. I'm going to do maybe grocery in the afternoon from 2 to 4, and then maybe ride sharing in the evening or something. And so we'll build up your total for you. And usually it's, let's say it's $100, over 4 or 5 hours. If you go out there and you make $94, we'll cover the difference of that $6 for you. If you go and make $110, it's all yours. What we do is we do take a small fee up front. It's usually by the hour. So it's 25 cents an hour, typically. So if you want to guarantee 8 hours in a day, it's $2. If you want to guarantee 4 hours, it's $1. But that's the trade-off. It's just we will cover you and provide that dynamic income floor for you for that upfront fee as part of the pay guarantee program. But you can also just schedule. You don't have to do the pay guarantee thing. Those are two separate things.
Right. So when I heard about Solo first, I thought, what's the big deal? Solo's in my head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a veteran. I know what I'm doing. If I can't crack $40 an hour in LA, those are the good old days. Now, we want to discuss because the things have changed quite a bit now last 3-4 months. And so I don't need Solo. But now, actually, I'm thinking a lot of drivers. I mean, look, you worked at Uber, right? You burn and churn, newbies come and go by the millions. To me, for every new driver, I think this is like a must, because like I do quite a bit of driver coaching, right, in LA.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked that people don't know anything about what they're doing, like literally, right? Because from my first day, my initial thought was, I need a strategy. I need to know what my costs are. Like, as you correctly stated, like we're running a business, we're running a small business. I need to know all this stuff. And I also need to know when and where to work, because if I'm sitting in my bedroom at 3 a.m., I'll turn my app on with the flexibility and freedom stuff, I'm not going to get any work. So I have to know when and where to work, what the rhythm of the city is. So does Solo do anything to help drivers with that, other than saying, well, if you work between this and this, then you should make this kind of money? But do you have any, to me, I think what's lacking in the driver community from a newbie to a veteran is education. I mean, you work the Uber, these people don't educate people. They just download the app, put the gas in and go. Well, I think what's lacking is education. And that's what we're trying to do here. Does Solo have anything like that in the app, as far as beyond expectations, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's a great question. And I completely agree with you, Sergio, because it's an unfortunate reality of this industry, right? That the companies are, it's a marketplace, right? And it's very hands off. It's like, hey, we want to get you on the platform and get you out there and just start driving, right? And hopefully you only drive for us is kind of the mentality, and the reality, or what we always say to folks in terms of education, to your point, is some of the things we harp on with early workers to the space is, of course, we got the tools for you. Come on in, use them. You can, find your optimal schedule, all those things. But there's certain things that pros like yourself do and have figured out over years that, others don't think about, which is you should expand your job portfolio, get access to more platforms, right? Because maybe you don't even like doing Amazon Flex, or I'm just making something up, Walmart Spark. But as long as you have access to it, those companies are competing for your time, right? And you should really think about it where your time is not beholden to any one company. You don't work for Uber, you don't work for Lyft, you don't work for anyone. You work for who's going to give you the highest rate on those hours. And that's what we're trying to do, is help guide you to that conclusion. And when you add more platforms, you add to your job portfolio, you just have more options, right? And so that's the one of the big things we harp on with early folks. We also provide resources around onboarding requirements, blog posts around those kind of things. We show different trends. As you add 1, 2, 3 jobs, you earn more as you go up that ladder, kind of from an hourly basis. So we're definitely leaning into that. I think we can do a lot more around education. To your point, I think shows like your guys are great, because gives people a chance to ask questions, kind of
Yeah.
get into the nitty gritty details. But we could be doing more about that. We at the moment are providing a lot of data, software, et cetera, guidance. But I think, underlying theme here is get access to more jobs. Think of yourself as like, you don't work for anyone, you work for who's going to pay you the right rate. And that could be a lot of different opportunities out there. And we're trying to help connect you to them.
I agree with you 100%. And, I always say this, it's like, instead of you working for the gig economy, let the gig economy work for you, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have, initially I only had 2 apps, right? Because it was the game in town, Uber and Lyft. I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't know
5 years,
anybody.
that was it. Yeah.
There may have been some, but I didn't know any better because it was so lucrative driving for Uber and Lyft. And why do I need another app, right? But then when the pandemic hit and all these, food delivery, grocery delivery, everything delivered at any time, kind of a app showed up, the dynamic changed in the gig economy, right? Because we always say this. Plus that's why we named the show "Show Me the Money Club," because show me the money, I'll drive for you. Because I'm not loyal to anybody, honestly. I don't care if Lyft shows me the money, I'll drive for them. If Uber shows me the money, I'll go there. And as you perfectly stated, we're all independent contractors. You show me the money, I go there. So your app is kind of the right partner for this. That is like, I'm going to show you the money, but you cannot just be on Uber and expect to make more money because you have Solo. You have to be multi-apping. You have to be on many, many, many different apps. And today I have maybe like 7. I don't use all of them, but I have enough of them that I know when one of them misses me, they're going to show me the money. I'm going to go drive for them, right? So to me, it's like, now, obviously, you said the 25 cents that for every booked hour, right? Scheduled hour. What other costs are there? Are there any other costs? Are there free parts of the software versus costing the driver money parts of the software?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. And look, like I think we want to build a long-term platform and something that we can grow and evolve and continue to offer more tools and services to workers, right? We want to help with taxes in the future. We want to help with credentials, getting access to more jobs. And to do that, we strive to run a long-term business. We're not going to be a flash in the pan here. And so what we do is we do have a subscription fee of $3.99 if you want just the business in a box. So we'll track your income, expenses, do your mileage tracking for you, help project out what you're going to owe in taxes. That's $3.99 a month. If you want to do the smart schedule and pay guarantee stuff, that's $7.99 a month, and that's available in those 25 cities. So that's our business model today. We're not out there selling data or doing anything like that, and so we're focused on servicing the customer on this side and the worker and the driver in the space, and so and I agree with you, Sergio. I was going to say one thing you mentioned is the pandemic changed everything, right? For workers, is that you have so many more options now than you did 5 years ago. It was kind of an Uber Lyft show. DoorDash just wasn't quite there, and some of the others, weren't quite big, like Instacart and whatnot. Today, you've got a lot of options, and the companies, they need your time. They need workers to make the business work, and without it, it's not a thing. And so this is a great opportunity for workers as long as you're kind of like diversifying and getting kind of access to different jobs. And we think about ourselves as kind of a routing or Google Maps for you, but with your jobs, maybe not where you're going.
Yeah, no, that's actually, to me as a driver, my main thing is utilization of my time. How am I utilizing?
Yep.
Last time I checked, there was still 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm out there trying to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time, right? So if I'm busy all 60 minutes with different apps, 2, 3 different, 4 different apps, then I'm just going to be busy because I'm out there to drive. I'm not out there to watch YouTube in my car. Okay.
Yep.
So the other thing is, I was going to ask you when you mentioned that, like you said you attached all your data or all your, information from Uber, Lyft, all DoorDash. Did you have any pushback as far as privacy concerns, or maybe people will be thinking, oh yeah, these guys are still collecting data just like Uber is, and then they're going to use it against me? Do you see how do you come back to that? Because I'm sure we will hear it after the show that, oh yeah, they're just collecting data just like Uber is. Because in the green room, we were talking, the perception of Uber Lyft in our community is horrible. Okay. So yeah. I hope yours is going to be much better. And so how do you combat that the perception that you guys are there just collecting my data?
Yeah, no, I think, look, it's a valid concern and one that people should be worried about in the space. I think, 2 things here. One, yes, my co-founder and I, we saw the inside of Uber just as David Pickerel, saw it at Para, and I think we, all collectively have realized that, the company, both for legal but also profit reasons, didn't invest in this side of the marketplace, right? And that's the unfortunate reality of the company. It changed very quickly from the early days when we had more of a one-to-one relationship with workers, and instead it became very corporate and broad and large scale and public companies and whatnot. And so our viewpoint on this is we're ultimately putting this together using data to get you better insights, better tools, and ultimately more money in your pocket, right? Helping you take home more. It's data driven. Like, I'll be honest, like, our platform, that's what's different about it, right? Is it's not just a plug and play tool. It is dynamic, and it uses your information to help get you to the right job at the right time, as well as track your specific finances, right? As far as like the data aggregation piece goes, like I mentioned, like, your personal information is brought right back to you, in your personal income dashboards, your mileage tracking. It's yes, like, thrown into an anonymous pool so that everyone can benefit from those broader level market insights and bird's eye view. But that's what we need, frankly, if you want to kind of gain the upper hand, when it comes to flipping the script here on the company side, because that's what they do, right? Is they take market level information and say, hey, we know when we can pinch prices and move the market up and down. We're saying, hey, actually, if that's transparent and out there to everyone, you can decide whether you accept, reject, work those jobs, go online, offline, or not. And it's really the power of that bigger collective market data set that everyone contributes into that makes the difference there. And so we take data security extremely seriously. Our engineering team has a deep background in it, and so it's not something we take lightly. And it was a big part of why we spent our first year building that. Ultimately, from 2020 to 2021, that was a big focus of ours. And so I know certainly there's always a lot of concern around data and security and whatnot and privacy. We use it specifically to get you the right information so that you can earn more with your time. That's really the focus of why we do it.
Great. So with a couple of minutes left, you tell us, why should we download Solo, right after the episode? Because everybody needs to watch the episode first. And then put the thumbs up, all the good YouTube algorithm BS stuff, right? So now you have to tell us, why should we all go download Solo?
Yeah, I think look, whether you're been doing this years or you're new to the space, I think it goes back to the fact that we've got a type of work here that allows you to set your own schedule, allows you to kind of decide when and where and what job you work. But to do that, you need tools, you need software, you need data to do it. And we're building the platform to do that all in one place for you. We don't want you to have to go get a mileage tracker in one place, track your income across 3 different jobs in another, do taxes with someone else. We want to make that simple, easy, and as fluid as possible and seamless as possible for you as a worker. And so today, we help you earn more with that smart schedule. We help take out the risk of your daily income with the pay guarantee. And you may not think about it today, but you probably have to think about it at some point, like we all do when taxes come. We help you do the income and expense and administrative side of it as well. And we try to make that easy. It's built for you. Our team, it's small, but it's a mighty team of 15, and our focus is entirely on building software for you guys. And so that's we're going to continue to build on that and expand it. But that's our whole focus as a company, and I think we can make a real difference in terms of helping people get the most out of this kind of work, right? Because it is really powerful to own your own time and own schedule, but at the same time, it's got to be better than it is today. And that's our mission here, is to ultimately fix that and all the problems in the space, and give you what you need to make the most out of your time and your finances as you work for yourself, which we think is really empowering.
Great. We thank you for coming on. I mean, we'll have you on again in a few months with an update.
Sounds great.
I don't know if you guys are going to go to Herbivore this year, the one Harry's putting out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'll be there too. So I'll say, cool. Come say hello to you. Okay.
Sounds great.
Yeah, please. This is Bryce Bennet, CEO and co-founder of Solo. I give you guys thumbs up just for the fact that what the drivers are going through these days. I mean, my prediction is not too good for when it comes to the gig economy, because there's too many drivers are out there, and any tools that you can provide with earnings, and where to make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time to a driver is a thumbs up with me. Thank you for coming on, and have a great rest of your day. You're in Seattle, right?
Yep, we're up here in the Pacific Northwest, so we're the whole team's out of Seattle here, and if I would just leave it with if anyone has questions they want to send, I see comments coming in and whatnot. Please send them to me, at info@worksolo.com or bryce@worksolo.com. You can reach us there. We're all ears, ideas, things we can do better, things you want to see in the future, and we'd love to answer those questions or have the opportunity to chat with you. So
I also like the solopreneur idea. I like the solopreneur, phrase instead of entrepreneur. You're a solopreneur. I like the way you guys kind of label that one. So it's pretty cool.
Hey, I really appreciate that. Guys, Chris, Sergio, thanks so much for the time. Thanks for what you guys do in the space, and looking forward to hopefully chatting with you again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Bryce.
Thank
for
you.
those who are interested too in downloading Solo, link's going to be in the description, so you can check that out there. Thanks again, Bryce, for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. See you later.
All right. So that was Bryce with Solo. Again, check the link in the description below if you want to check that out. Sergio, we have a hell of a show coming up.
Yeah.
By the title, possible glitch confirming.
Still there, by the way.
Upfront earnings. What's up?
Still there.
Yeah. Oh, it is? Well,
yeah.
I don't know. After this show, it might not. So we got quite a few things going on today. We're going to be talking about upfront earnings. We're going to be talking about this glitch. We're going to be talking about the upfront algorithm. There's a new thing that Lyft is, I don't know if it's either rolling out or testing, but this is something that's going on called the bonus zone boost. So if you have it, let us know what market you're in. And if you haven't yet or not. I haven't seen it. Sergio does, so that's how we know about it. Also, we have our wonderful Uber CEO kind of talking both sides of the coin. Which one really is it? Saying there's a driver supply shortage and then there's too much. So we're not sure right there where they're catering to specifically.
Driver shortage does not exist, but
not right now, no. And then we're gonna be talking right after that about the oversaturation. RDU's got something going on coming up next week, and Sergio's going to be participating in, so he's going to be talking about that in a little while. And then also we're going to be highlighting our side hustle of the week. So we got a packed show. Let's get right into it.
We're on the clock. Let's go.
We're on the clock, yeah. All right, where do you want to start with the upfront earnings?
Let's just go right through that. And so people, please thumbs up first of all. Let me tell you, this took me like 6.5 hours to do. So please pay attention.
Yeah. Right. So actually, you know what? Here, let me put up the other screenshots first.
Put that one first. Yeah.
So this right here.
Okay.
If you want to talk about what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So all of you can do this right now to see if you have this glitch or not. Now, when I used to be, a full-time driver, I messed with the app constantly, pushing, pulling. I knew it wouldn't blow up, so I'm just gonna go, hey, let me try this, let me try that. That's how you find all these glitches on the app that is beneficial to you, people. Okay, you gotta experiment with the app. The app is there to just be messed with, all right? Because they're messing with you quite enough. So why not do that? So the other day, bored, I guess. So I'm just messing with the old trips, looking at some old data. So I go, I clicked on this trip that I took. It's, as you can tell, 5 miles, 20 minutes. It paid me $23.41 because, there was a $15.65 surge on this, right? Because number one, when I drive, I only do surge trips, or try to do anyway, unless I'm DF going home, or boost, or in combination of both, including, plus add the quest. That's how I do 40, 50 bucks an hour. Those days are gone. I can't do that anymore. I'm in LA. It's specific to me, so don't bombard me with shit saying that come to Idaho. It's not happening in Idaho. So anyway, I clicked on this trip. I go $23.41, good old days. Look at this, $5, 5 miles, 20 minutes. Great. Then I see this little writing right on the bottom of the fare, the old fare, which the explanation is on the left screenshot where it says paid to you. I go, great. There's the
You
explanation
have the
for
date
22.
when this was by chance, because it's not on the summary. Do you remember about what time it was? I think it was in March or something.
This one?
Yeah.
This one, let's see where the date is. Yeah, it says 7/31. I think I cut it a little bit too much. Yeah, this is probably March, April of this
Okay.
year.
So essentially, let's just give a real brief thing of what's going on. So the new way of doing things is upfront earnings. The old way is the time and distance model. If you go into your old breakdowns prior to the changeover to upfront fares, you may or may not see the old fare of what you were paid versus what you'd be paid under the upfront model. So this is where the glitch is. We're not like, I don't have this on my app, and I've been paying attention to it. Sergio sent me a text the day you saw it. You're like, hey, what do you got this? I'm like, no, I don't have it. We talked to Joe. He doesn't have it either. So this is something that Sergio has. I don't know if you have this on your app and you see this, you have to go. It was about February timeframe up until.
but no, actually it started in July. It started in like July. It goes on my app. This is from actually the end of January of this year all the way up to July, almost the middle of July, right?
You're getting about 6 months worth of data point showing what you took. Now this is big here when you think about it, because you're able to actually see a true comparison between the old model of time and distance and the new model of upfront fares. So this is the huge thing right here. And this is going to show you, and Sergio made a huge list of things. So exactly about how much things have gone down or up or whatnot like that. So that's just kind of given the brief summary of it.
Yeah, that's a good summary. So if you guys see on the right screenshot, it says 2341. That's what it would have been under miles and minutes, the old fashioned way. And then underneath it says upfront fare. So for each single trip for those 6 months, some coder somewhere made a boo-boo and gave me what the trip would have been today under upfront fare. So on this one, I would have gotten a $13 haircut. So what do I do? Now I go, maybe this is only one. Oh, no. I just went back month after week after week, month after month for 6 months. All the old-fashioned way of calculating the earnings were converted into upfront fare right on the app. So I'm like, yeah, why don't I go do a spreadsheet of all these trips? Of course, it takes one by one because there's nothing to download. So one by one, I went through it. There were over 500 trips that I went and put them all on a spreadsheet for you guys. And now, if you want to check if you have this glitch, we call it the glitch, but whatever it is, just go to July, August, sometime this year, and click on a trip, on any UberX trip or any other trip. If you see, obviously, you're going to see the your earnings screenshot with the map, just like you guys are looking at it now, and underneath it, it will have to say upfront fare. If you see upfront fare, you have the glitch. You will be able to compare trip by trip, going back month after month after month to see what the difference would have been. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is pretty much will tell you guys if upfront fares and destination is a cut or it's a benefit to the driver. Now, I did go put 530 some trips for all those 6 months. You see it. There you go, Professor. Now you can figure out how badly you're getting screwed with upfront fares. So everybody check this on their app, not now, later. It's been there since I discovered this, by the way. When was it, Chris? Last Thursday? Right?
No, something like that. It was a few days
ago.
It was probably Thursday or Friday last week. Yeah.
I talked to a bunch of drivers in LA. A couple of them have it. Some don't. Some do. It's not on every. It has nothing to do with iOS or Android, by the way. People with Android have it, and some people with iOS have it. So it's just a luck of the draw, right? So all you have to do is just go click on the map, on a specific trip, and if you have it, you have it. Then you can figure out how many months you have it, and if you want to go through the work of creating a spreadsheet for yourself, because going forward, you're going to get upfront fares. There is no more miles and minutes.
Yep.
So on this trip, I got a huge haircut, obviously.
Yeah. So essentially, the other thing too is what you see on the two screenshots that are next to each other, the left and the middle one. You see basically what was paid to him at that date. So let's just pretend it's March 14th or something, because that's around the time frame when he was marking these. but you can see the fare, the distance, surge, time, temporary fuel surcharge, and the earnings of 2341. But then you see the upfront fare breakdown, which breaks it down, and you can kind of go back and forth. So you see the minimum fare supplement, the surge, the time, temporary fuel surcharge, miscellaneous adjustments, and that. And that's how you see a $13 difference.
That's a big ass haircut right there.
Yeah, where almost $12 of it is difference of surge. That's the thing that I don't understand here is why, if you're comparing literally the same exact trip to each other, why would surge be any different from $15.65 to $3.25?
That's because on upfront fares, surge is bundled in upfront there. Now the algo is not just only got rid of time and distance, Chris, but what they're doing now with surge or boost or anything else that you see, right, that you were getting in addition to the fare, right, is all bundled in now. Okay, so on some trips they're lowering the fare if you have a high surge attached to it. On some trips they're messing with the surge, which we're going to show some more screenshots, and then that's happening too. So from the only thing I can gather from upfront fares is there's no rhyme or reason that one trip of the same distance and duration is priced at 10 and the other one is priced at 20. I have no idea how the algorithm is figuring that out, right? So we don't know. But on this trip, they cut the surge quite a bit because pretty much everything else is pretty similar to each other, except that the surge got cut from 1565 to 325. And to be honest with you, if you look at the distance and time on this trip, right, 5 miles, 20 minutes, $10, most people would do this trip because it's $2 a mile. Under today's regime of upfront fares, most people would take this trip on because if you do 3 of these, that's $30 an hour. It's more than LA drivers are making today, right? It's $2 an hour. I mean, $2 a mile.
Let's look at the next one too. This one breakdown of this.
This one is a little bit of a longer trip, right? So, same thing, same idea. I clicked on the trip. $24.43 what I got paid. I would under upfront fares, I would get paid $21.90. This trip would take me 26 minutes and 15.6 miles. I did that trip then because it was $1.50 and it was taking me home. The green dot is where I am, and the red dot is pretty close to my house actually. So again, on this trip, right? Look at the numbers. Look what they did. The distance number went from 937 to 812. Okay. And the time part went from 551 to 423. You see what the algo is doing, right? And the promotion, which was I had a $9 boost on this, right, per trip. That on this one it stayed the same, but then the algo somehow figured my miles and minutes were worth a lot less, or at least in this case $2.50 less for some reason. Same trip, right? That's what the algo is pulling now. You don't know why, what's getting priced at whatsoever. And I'm going like, okay. So overall, these are a couple of trips. I'll be showing these to you so you can go check it in your app. If you have it, you can you can have fun with it until they get rid of it, because I'm pretty sure some coder is going to get fired for having this up there.
Oh yeah, especially for being on one of our apps, being either Sergio or myself, because this is what you were doing pretty much all week right here, and that is doing these comparisons. So you see what the pre-UFD price is, the after, what the difference is, and it just shows you.
Do you have the other one?
What?
You have the other one with the weeks?
Yeah. Which one?
Let's show that first, because this is a breakdown of the single month. Okay, so what I did was I went week by week by week by week by week. Okay, it's like pre-UFD, meaning before upfront, UFD meaning what it would have paid today, how many trips I did that week, right, and the difference. So it's pretty self-explanatory, and we'll put this up and then you guys can download this at some point. So these are all the weeks. It goes all the way to February, right? And if you look at the differences between miles and minutes, which is pre-UFD, and versus UFD, the difference came after 23 weeks. In 7 weeks, actually, UFD paid me more. 16 out of the 23 weeks, miles and minutes paid me more. But on an overall total, there were some weeks that I got paid a lot less. There were some weeks that I got paid a lot more under UFD. Overall, 529 trips on the spreadsheet. with miles and minutes, I would have made 6,445. This is without tips, obviously. I deducted all the tips from both sides. So I would have made $66,445. With Upfront, I only would be making, with the exact same trips, same length, same duration, I would be making $6,288. Now, when I show you the next one, you guys will understand. According to those 529 trips, I ended up getting a haircut of 2.45% with Upfront earnings. Now, we know my number may be a little bit less than yours, just for the fact that when I do drive, I'm looking for shorties. I'm looking for high surge, high bonus, high boost surge shorties. Now, what do? I take that 1 month that I did 52 trips on, right? And again, I put pre-UFD, UFD, the difference on some trips is 8 cents more, 6 cents less, even, whatever it is. My miles and minutes is clearly indicated in those two columns, right? So if you look at the overall trips, start from the top, 7.1 miles, 20 miles, 2.5, 2.4, 2.8, 9.2, 9.6, 5.2, 2.3, 0.73, 1.4. So what I'm trying to say is that my haircut was only 2.5% with just gunning for shorties. Meaning, to me, shorty is like 1 mile pickup, 2 to 3 mile drop off, right? So most of these trips are short. I would say 70% of these trips are short. And according to the CEOs, short trips were supposed to pay more. And we know on the longer trips, you're getting a banger of a haircut, right? Well, on most of the short trips, even this month, I did a lot of short trips versus longer or medium trips. I still got paid 1.33% less. So now, I'm going to say literally that, Upfront fares is a rate cut, Chris. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
Yep.
Now, your numbers may be different than mine. Again, I'm in LA. I did this for 6 months, 530 trips. Uber will say this is not big enough a data set. Let it be. This is my numbers. I stand by my numbers, but UFD
But the biggest thing is it's a direct comparison between the old way and the new way based on one ride. So you have two versions of it in one ride, which is exactly, some of the information that we wanted to try to get, because we could always say, well, we could do a roundabout same ride and kind of try to figure it out that way. But there are many different factors that will factor in, like surge, boost, different things like that could come into play. This one is taking it directly. What was the old rate? What was the new rate for each ride? So if you have this information and you want to share some of these screenshots, try to gather as much information as you can and send it over to us. That way, then we can just help figure out a little bit more. But I mean, when it comes down to it, if you asked myself or yourself, and you can answer this question and I'll answer it, what do you think about upfront earnings? Do you think that it's revenue neutral?
No.
Okay.
On short trips, it's at best revenue neutral, which I know it's not, because Michelle, if you're here, much appreciated. Michelle, who is also doing the same kind of spreadsheet, she's up to like close to 250 lines, and she's trying to do mostly short trips. She's running about 6% haircut. There's another gentleman in San Francisco who did only 100 short Lyft trips under UFD, and his haircut was about 8%. So it's a haircut. Any way you look at it, it's a fair cut. I mean, I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking on the longer trips, the pay cut is a lot larger. Okay. And I'm in the 20% level.
We've seen and heard and witnessed probably around close to 30%.
Yeah. I wouldn't say overall. I would call, if you took everything, like in most drivers' cases, it may be different numbers, but I think overall it's going to be 10 to 14% haircut.
And that's you're taking that and factoring with short rides too, right?
Yeah, short rides, long rides, medium rides, I think. And
overall,
the other thing, you told me to do this and I did it for you, Chris. That 1 month that I put up the, all the trips, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get a trend or an indication where the cut is really kicking in, where it's really hurting me, right? So I discovered that anything over 5.5, 6 miles, the reduction in rates is accelerating quite a bit, right? Almost like couple of percentage points every 3 miles or so.
So if I had to do try if you're watching this, this is probably what you would see right here. My two hands, the way that they are, and we'll put a graph out. Maybe we'll try to break this down a little bit more and actually get a true graph to show you like the pinpoint numbers and stuff like that. Because I made a couple of graphs earlier, but I wasn't able to like finesse it so you could actually see the difference.
No, I mean, like if you did like an XY axis kind of a graph, right? And if the starting point 0 point is break even, meaning you did a minimum fare trip, right? It was in LA, minimum fare is $3.27 plus the 55-cent fuel surcharge. But if you took it out, it's $3.27, right? So if you had a graph there and then it went to like 2 miles, which is minimum fare, and if you go 2 miles, 4 miles, 6 miles, 8 miles, 10 miles, 2 miles at a time, right? That graph would be maybe at like a 20-25% slope, going higher, meaning less pay for longer trips. So to me, this is definitely a rate cut. Now, we put out videos and one of them got like some 30,000 views the other day, a couple days ago. And everybody goes, oh yeah, I'm making 30% less. I'm making 20% less. Again, people are just looking at one single trip and going like, oh, I'm making 30. No, you're not making 30% less. Nobody's going to work for 30% less. What is happening is that there is a gradual acceleration of your income loss. There definitely is. Anything over 5.5, 6 miles is really kicking in. Okay. So to me, then cherry pick the shit out of shit. I mean, seriously, and the other thing is, try to do 5-6 miles or less trips, because anything over, you're going to get a haircut. So, I mean,
this is Showman Money Club. The tip that we have for you, as Sergio just said, anything over 5.5, 6 miles, be very critical of. You don't have to take every ride, decline the garbage, and know your worth.
Oh, is our thing running? What? Is our thing the hashtag running?
Yeah, it's on there. But that's the whole thing. So, when it's less than that distance, you're probably going to be making close to the same, maybe a little more, maybe a little whatnot. But then there are a couple of trips that are out there that are, much higher, and there's almost no rhyme or reason to it. So again, this is just the importance of paying attention to the information that you are given. So pay attention to the time, the distance to and from the pickup to where you are, to the drop off, all that, and then what the pay actually is. And then, stacking incentives and things like that, if you even have those available. Because unfortunately, something we're going to be talking about in a little bit, those are becoming few and far between. And we also talked about that last week.
They're like endangered animals now. These high quests and stuff that we used to get, they're like, they don't exist. You know what I mean? So all I know is Upfront is a rate cut. Depends on the style of driving you do. If you were a driver that used to do a lot of long airport trips and things like that, you're screwed. I'm telling you, you're screwed. You're going to get a 20% deduction in earnings. I'm begging you, drivers, when the ping screen is coming in, train your eyes to the right areas. Don't willy-nilly accept shit. Okay? Know your worth. Know your worth. You're worth more than $4 every 15 minutes. Okay? Because there are a lot of those $4 or $5 chips flying around. Now, if you have a strategy, you have a decent quest, you're trying to finish, of course, gun for the shorties, get it over with. Or if Lyft gives you a guarantee or whatever. But to me, it's like, you gotta become, I'm using this Chicago driver's line, USDA approved cherry picker now. That's what, except Jeff, my good old Jeff.
Moving on, let's talk about the other aspect of that, not just cherry picking, but also teaching the algorithm. It is machine learning.
Yes. These are recent, man. Yes.
Yeah. Both you and I were on a show yesterday, that we pre-recorded with Steve Rodeo and David from Para, where we had kind of mentioned that and talked about it, where they were actually doing that a couple of years ago when it came to, the algorithm and starting to get that set up. What that maybe went into is what we're seeing today, once they realize that they're able to, kind of finesse things into a profit style versus, information. Which if you have, I don't know when he's going to post that over on Rideshare Rodeo, but when they do, check that out, because we did talk about that. And it just kind of rolls into what we're going to be talking about, training the algorithm. And
Yep.
this is where decline garbage comes in. This is where cherry picking comes in. This is where these things that we're talking about have
Yep.
to come in order to be able to teach that algorithm. No, we are not going to be slow boiled into a death of the frog that Sergio you always bring up. But it's
no
the
frog,
perfect
bro.
example. We don't want that conditioning that they're going to say, oh, $10 today, $9.95 in next week. And then in 6 months, it's down to $9.50, $9.25, $8. You know, we don't want that. We want to train the algorithm and say, look, we're not going to accept that. And so, yeah, declining rides is going to be one of the things that's going to be happening in order to train that, saying, I know what my value is, and I'm not going to accept lower than that.
Now I gotta tell you one thing. You know, remember I just mentioned Michelle. Michelle, if you're here, shout out to you. I mean, a lot of drivers have become my eyes and ears in the country, okay, which is like absolutely mind-boggling to me that you guys are taking this shit seriously enough, but you should, because it's your income, for God's sakes, right? So, but I thank you. I appreciate it. I try to answer every single email. So Michelle's email starts, Sergio, I have almost 300 lines on my spreadsheet. Thanks to you. I go, thank you, Michelle. Much appreciated. You know what she says? I wish I had put that email up. Well, you know what? Next week I'll put that up.
Yeah,
She
let's
goes,
talk about that next week. Let's talk about the
I don't
cherry
have letters
picking
this
now.
week. I had them all set up, but I knew we were going to run over with this stuff. So I go like next week we'll do all those.
Yeah.
But she says, Sergio, I don't know if I'm cherry picking better. This is her quote. I'm telling you. But my losses from last week of 6% have declined. She goes, do you think I'm teaching the algorithm something? I told her, I responded to her. I go, you're doing both. You're doing both things really well. Not only you're cherry picking better, and you're teaching the algorithm at the same time. So her losses on her short trips are declining overall from being down 6%. She's down, I think, down to like 3% level, right? So this is what we're trying to do. If this is the best we can do, and if your losses under UFD or upfront fares is 7, 8, 9%, that means your style is wrong. You're not cherry picking enough. You know what I'm saying? So she goes, is it both? I go, Michelle, it's got to be both. You're cherry picking better. You become a better cherry picker, and you're teaching the algorithm.
Every single time we'll always bring this up. Both DK and Jay-Z and even Andrew in his interview that he did recently that we highlighted all say the same exact thing. If they are pricing rides wrong, it's on them. And they want acceptance rates to be at 100%. I would agree with that. I would love to have my acceptance rate back up to 100%. It's nowhere near that, but that's also because they're not offering the right prices. You got to offer the right prices. They did say that there's going to be an adjustment period that needs for everything to kick in.
Well, it's time.
We're going to teach it that adjustment period. So
he said that. Remember, DK clearly said that. Said that. He goes, machine learning, he goes, algorithms, you need time to adjust. I go, sir, it's been a month and a half almost in LA now. It's time to adjust. Let's
it should be adjusting. So
and you know, everybody has their own algo anyway. So okay. Okay, you got these. These are not okay. The two trips, it goes the other way around.
Okay, either way.
Yeah, either or. So look at these two trips, okay? Just try to look at the pickup and the drop-off point and the price. Forget everything else at the moment. They're both long trips. This is on Trip Radar, okay? So they're shopping these trips on Trip Radar. Obviously, there's 4 people watching one and 6 people are watching the other one. Obviously, nobody's touching it. And why would they? When a trip is going to take 65 minutes and 43 miles at $38, they go, screw that, I'm not doing it. And the other one, $44, 44, 43, you know, most people would take the second trip, I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, it's $45, especially if it's on your way home or if you live somewhere close to that area. Great, right? So these are all from Orange County to LA, both of them. And so to me, now, you train your eyes on the numbers, 37.93 and 43.95, right? Okay, the next one, next time they pop these, and by the way, look at the clock. Look at the screenshot clock, 6:23 p.m. So they've been shopping these two trips. Uber system goes, fuck, I can't sell them. What do I need to do? Okay, well, let's change the price. Okay, next one now. Oh, look at 6:26 p.m. 3 minutes later, they're still shopping, and now 7 people are watching one and 5 on the other one. Hey, look what happened to the prices. You guys remember that 71-minute trip at $43 or $42, whatever that was, right? Now it's up to $47. There you go, $43.95. It went up to $46.98. Great, okay, improvement. Probably still nobody took it, but at this point, it's becoming more of a palatable trip, right? And the other one became $38.51 from $37.93. Not that much of an improvement. However, there's a thing here that you guys need to pay attention to. Again, these screens you guys got to read in about 67 seconds. 6 or 7, not 67. Do you see this, Chris, where it says $1.50 included? And on both trips, when it originally showed up on Trip Radar, it said $1.50 included. That's the surge, right?
Yep.
Look what they did on the next one.
Now
they go $5.75 included now. See what the mother humpers are doing, right? Now, if $1.50 to $5.75.
There's definitely not a $5, or I'm sorry, what's $5.75 minus $1.50?
$4.25.
There's not a $4.25 difference on those rides. There's
Even
less
on this, they're fucking. Even on this, even when they're shopping, they're fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Because they made it look like, ooh, $5.75. Well, jackass, my math is good in 6 seconds. If the surge went from $1.50 to $5.75, this trip should not have only gone up by $3. It should have gone up by $4.25. So what did they do? The algo goes, ooh, surge went higher. Now I got to lower the fare. Stop fucking with it, man. We know what the hell is up. This is bullshit, right? Again.
Yeah, it's a game. And this is a game too. Like, I can look at it and say, hey, look, I'm getting $5.75 extra. That's that's pretty decent right there. But no, it's in actuality, the fare actually went down.
Yeah,
fair
because, fair, they mess with the fare. But overall, though, for the same trip, right? They put more money into the trip. That's a fact. You cannot lie with that, right? But if you analyze it with the surge adjustment, it should have gone up even more. But even there, they're like taking a couple of bucks from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my point on this showing this was the algo is adjusting. When people are not taking these trips and they're staying on the Trip Radar for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, right? The algo goes, okay, we'll still fuck with their heads. We'll show like a bigger bigger surge. They're not going to figure that out. They're going to jump on it right away. But the point is, they adjusted one trip up $3.50 and the other one by $1.
Yeah. So, but it should have been $4.25 for both.
Yeah, I agree. But
even on top of that, just taking away the surge, those are just sitting there. There's a reason why they're just sitting there. They're not pricing them correctly. So that means the actual fare itself should be higher, and then the surge on top of that should be higher. So instead of a $4.25 increase, you should probably see $6, $7, $8 increase in order to actually in the real world, of math. When nobody wants to take a ride and you're trying to teach your algorithms that's what should be doing. That's why they're sitting here like this.
Yep. Then you know what? To me,
says acceptance rate is 4%.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Awesome.
That's good. There you go. Single digits is our goal. Single digits for the whole country is our goal. So the PAX wait times go through the goddamn roof, and maybe they'll figure it out. Okay. To me, that 4% is gold right there. GG. Okay. Thumbs up to you. GG. Okay. Where's my thumb? Fuck. Okay. There you go. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so that was that. So the algo is learning, and DK, make it a little faster. We'll accept some trips if you just kind of adjust things a little more faster, up, not down, up.
Yeah. So the big thing is pay attention to it and calculate your money. Or I'm sorry, calculate the math that they're giving you for that, so that you know.
You got to do a lot of math now. Seriously, pretty soon every Uber driver is going to be a math genius because at least division, multiplication, the PEMDAS shit. We're going to be all geniuses. We're going to figure out math like this.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you train your brain that way. Like, it's funny because I listen to the podcasts and videos that I watch. I watch them all at double speed, because I get to watch double the amount that I can in the same amount of time. So it's, to me, I'm used to that. If I listen to something at normal speed now, I'm like, dude, this is so freaking slow. So you just train yourself. It's the same thing when you're doing the math. What you look for what you figure out, you know exactly. You're going to train your brain. It's muscle memory, and you figure it out.
Uber is benefiting at some point. See, it's teaching guys how to do fast math.
Yep, get that fast math. All right, going on. We talked about upfront earnings. Let's go to Lyft side of things now. Something that they're either testing or rolling out. We're not really.
They rolled this out. They rolled this out. I got a text from a Boston driver. He goes, "Do you have this?" I go, "No." Oh, he goes, "I'm in the East Coast, so you'll get it in an hour." Sure enough, an hour later, I got this thing.
I don't have it yet. God. So
everybody in LA got this. Everybody in LA. I checked with all my LA guys. Everybody in LA got this.
So, all right. So basically, what it is, it's a bonus zone boost. You texted me. You're like, "What is this shit?" I'm like, "This is what it looks like to me." So
no, but you know what? Initially, I was like, "Oh no, this is like another one of those Uber Pro language barrier bullshit that they're going to put up." But then I figured it out pretty fast. Actually, Chris, I like this. You know why I like this? You know why I like this? Because you can actually cherry pick that first 15, unlock the 20% zone boost, right? Cherry pick the shit out of it, unlock it, and for the 30%, cherry pick some more.
Yeah, okay. That's a good. I like your effort, but I'm going to squash your thought process here.
Why?
Because they're going to say that you're going to get 20% more based on that 15 ride tier. You hit that 15 rides, and then you're going to get 20% more. Makes it no. They're going to say plus 20%, but they're going to lower the fare. So that same $10 ride that you would have cherry picked before is now $8 with a 20% update to $10. So they're going to pay you the exact same price.
Well, I got you, but we have to test it and figure it out. Now, the other thing they can do, okay, so this is the Lyft map. When I got this in my thing, I immediately took a screenshot of the Lyft map. So you see those little 2s and 3s, pinks and purples and whatever Lyft colors are, right? So this is what this means. If you unlock the top level, let's say you did unlock, cherry pick the shit out of it for a week, and this is a weekly thing, by the way, Monday to Monday, so it's doable, people. So if you cherry pick 55 times and drove only when there is surge, right, or Lyft calls it bonus, right, and so you did decent trips out of those for those 55 anyway. So now the weekend comes, you did 10 trips a day. Now it's the weekend, you know it's going to be better. So if you had unlocked this 40% boost zone, and if you're in one of those $3 areas, right, that 3 is going to become $4.20. That's what this is about. So cherry pick the shit out of it Monday through Friday. And Friday, if you unlock even the second tier, which is 30%, then, if you catch a $6, $8 bonus, that another 30% on that is going to be another $3. So that 8 becomes 11. So, hey, man, I like this. So because this goes with my scheme of cherry pick the shit out of it and then cherry pick the shit out of it again on the weekend and get the 30-40% bonus. Unless they turn the surge off. Now you're screwed. Now you did 55 chips to get this 40%. And
I like your thought process, and that's my exact thought process. But I know Lyft. We've seen them do different things, and Uber, and we've seen them pull shit. We just looked at the Trip Radar where they were pulling that shit with the $5.25 and the $1.50 when it came to surge. So here's the thing: there's two avenues that I could see Lyft doing. They could say for your initial aspect, we're going to price everything subpar. So that means every single person is getting paid subpar. And then when you get that first tier, when you hit that first, in this case, 15 rides, and you get that 20% extra, maybe that brings you back to what it should actually be, or what it was prior to upfront fares change or upfront pay change. And then
Christmas. It's Christmas, man. You're being the Grinch, man. Give it hope, man. Have some hope, man.
It's as David put it yesterday on the show that we were on. He was talking about passenger wiggle. This is the same thing, driver wiggle. So driver wiggle is going to be, they're going to price it accordingly. So that 20, 30, 40% probably isn't really 20, 30, 40%. It's probably where you think, because again, in the 10, 12 seconds that you're going to see it, can you do the math that quick to figure it out?
Okay, I got it. But look, listen. Okay, I tested the area.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I know you are. I tested the area filter. I loved it, right? So without testing, I wouldn't. Okay, let's give these people the benefit of the doubt, right? Okay, don't hate me for it, because I think this fits my style of driving beautifully. I'm not going to 55. I'm not going for 55 trips. I'm just going to go cherry pick the shit out of maybe 20, 30 trips during the week. And then I'll get my 30% and just drive when there are bonuses. Okay. And let's see if it stays true. If it doesn't stay true, the week after, I'm going to come back and say, F you, Lyft. It didn't work out. Right.
Well, I would love to see your numbers. If that pops up on mine, then I'll do the same exact thing. I'll figure it out, but I haven't seen it pop up on mine yet. They haven't sent me that.
It's gonna be a long winter. Let's give these people some hope because there's shit out there. And then
well,
to me, it's like, okay.
This could be a game that we could play, and that's the whole thing. Like, they're playing a game, and we're gonna play a game. So
absolutely.
When it comes down to it, all drivers watching and listening beyond this, you can't play the game if you don't know you're playing the game, and you can't play the game if you don't know the rules. And you can't break the rules unless you know them. So here's the thing. You need to know the game, you need to know the rules, and then you need to know how to bend them.
Okay. For this one, Chris, I have a plan. Okay. And this fits my style. My style is cherry pick anyway. I'm just going to cherry pick the shit out of it until I unlock one and then test it if they're really paying me 20% more. Just like just like I had a, we're going to put that up next week. I took Lyft's money and I got my statement. Guess what? Lyft lost $350 on me last week. So I'm like, you guys are going to see the beauty of that one. And in fact,
that's because Gabe paid you. It came out of Gabe's earnings.
So,
they just rebalanced from him to you during that.
Well, they took it from somewhere because they lost their ass on me. But look, for each thing that they offer, I have a strategy, right? If they offer me a guarantee, right, I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to do only 262 trips in 8 hours. I'm going to do 30 trips, take their $600, and I'm out of there. Right. So for each zag, we have to have a zig, or for each zig they put in, we have to have a zag. So on this one, I have my strategy set up. Does it work? We're gonna find out. So.
All right. Well, we're gonna figure that out. We'll come back with you next week or the week after, depending on that.
Week after.
Okay. So next or in 2 weeks. Obviously we're always running our own little tests in the background and then sharing that. So make sure you stay tuned every single week. Subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, the little like button, the little thumbs up. Let us know and let YouTube know, because this is going to help push to more drivers.
Yes,
all right. So
up, please.
With that being said, and after you smash the like button, we'll get to our next topic. And that is, what is Uber's CEO saying? DK, he's saying that there's a driver shortage. There's too many drivers. You're two different interviews. You say two different things. What's going on here?
He had a aneurysm or something. I don't know. Okay, so he's in Chicago.
But before we get into this, drivers or people who are watching this, what are you seeing in your area? Would you say you're seeing an oversaturation of drivers? Are you seeing an undersaturation of drivers? What are you seeing? Because obviously, market to market, it is going to vary. Some some markets are extremely oversaturated. Other markets are maybe not as bad, or maybe even dry a little bit. So let us know, what are you seeing out there on the road? What are you seeing if you open up the Rider app? Are you seeing somebody right around the corner? Are you seeing 18 people right around the corner? What are you seeing?
No, I'm telling you, he's flat out lying. Okay, he's bullshit. He's full of shit. There, you heard me? You're full of shit. There you go. So he was in Chicago. He gave 2 interviews in Chicago, in the same goddamn city. Okay, same city. On Chicago Tribune, he said a driver shortage has been driving up Uber prices. You're so full of shit, bro. Uber prices have been going up anyway. This is from December 2nd, bro. Okay, that's embarrassing. Anyway, he's like making the drivers, again, the bad guy. We have a driver shortage. That's why we have to jack the prices up on the passengers during Thanksgiving travel season. That's so bullshit. It's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. Let me tell you, sir, LA has never been this oversaturated ever. I've been doing this for 7 years, and we have the screenshots. You guys will see it. So, by the way, all of you drivers, please download the Passenger app, even if you're not going to drive, just to price rides, to see how badly you're getting screwed, all that good stuff. Just price rides and see the drivers around you, at least in your vicinity. They're only going to show 8 on each app, but that's okay. And you'll understand if this guy is right or wrong, if it's oversaturated or not. So a driver shortage has been driving up Uber prices. CEO said Chicago will likely be a bigger and bigger part of Uber's workforce. Yeah, because they're opening their offices there for Uber Freight. Driver shortage in peak hours. What city are you in? Don't just say that. His comment. Yeah, there's way too many drivers everywhere. So he goes. This guy goes, okay, there's not enough drivers in Chicago. You know what? Guess what? Emmanuel, the guy I did the goddamn, article on. People, please go read my Windy City King over there. He goes, Serge, that guy's full of shit. He doesn't even know what he's saying. There's so many drivers in Chicago. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Okay. Too many drivers in Chicago. Uber loves it. There you go. See, there you go. How about that one? There you go. Everybody's saying saturated. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, we know. Well, New York City is different, whoever you are there. So next slide. So this is Chicago Tribune article, right? And he goes, he also addresses efforts to diversify the company's leadership. I don't give a shit about the leadership. In this one, he goes, the biggest thing in Chicago, oversaturated. There. Anybody said undersaturated yet? Anybody said not enough?
Lisa said in her market, it's undersaturated rideshare, but oversaturated delivery.
Yeah, well, they're all doing the same shit anyway. So he goes here. Look at this last quote, Chris. He goes, the biggest thing in Chicago to do is we need more earners. That's you people. That's drivers.
Mm-hmm. That's drivers.
I think Emmanuel would,
because you're not drivers anymore.
With you. We need more earners. We need more drivers out there. No, we don't need more drivers out there. We don't. We really don't. Okay. So now he goes, shortage of overnight drivers. Maybe. Yeah. Overnight. Yeah. Okay. But there. Ken Z. I'm in Chicago. Way too many drivers. William, Ohio. There you go. All right. You know what? We'll send you a copy of this segment when we put it up, DK. You're full of shit, bro. There are so many drivers out there. I've never seen these many drivers. My utilization rate is down to 52%. By the way, Chris, next week we're starting our educational series. We're going to educate drivers while we're telling them to decline. We're going to show them the reasons why they should decline. We're going to show them what it takes to run a car. We're going to show them how the pro drivers do it. Like, okay, man, I need to make at least 78 cents a mile with my expenses to be profitable in this gig. And you know what? Once we do that, maybe people on their own will quit this and say, you know what? I'm not really making money. Good thing these guys showed it to me because I'm just using the equity in my car to pay my bills and I'm just melting over here, right? Maybe that will get rid of the oversaturation. So he goes.
Well, not only that, but I think the other aspect too is, a lot of people might be only doing one app when in fact you should probably be at least on, regularly working 2 to 3 apps and then have 7 or 8 apps or so just in your back pocket, whether you have them on or not, just to take advantage of, getting a much better utilization rate once you're out on the road.
You better believe it.
Different times of the day.
I'll bet you how many people in the comment or watching later know what utilization rate is, right? We talked about it yesterday, right? David Para, he goes, that's the most important thing to me. I go, yeah, this is the most important thing because I'm not there driving. Now, on this one, the same day, that article comes out, Sacramento Bee brings out this headline. Uber finds a 50% increase in drivers across Sacramento. So I'm going like many site inflation. Remember when we did the Uber earnings call, Chris? What DK said, right? He says, we have so many drivers, right?
Yep.
First time, because inflation is hurting people. They're out there driving for us, right? You remember? He said that.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to Chicago. He goes, oh, we need more earners. We need more drivers. And here he comes. This is like making the drivers look like shit because it's the driver's fault again. Uber prices soared during holiday season as ride-sharing giant still struggles to lure drivers back behind the wheel. James Gordon, if you call yourself a journalist, you should be ashamed of yourself. Whoever wrote this goddamn article, you should have talked to me first. But now, of course, why wouldn't you? But here you go. This is Mr. James Gordon from the Daily Mail. You know what? If you do see this, James, give me a call. Sergio at the rideshareguy.com.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, ex-Army Sarge. So here you go. So this guy cut and pasted some bullshit PR from Uber bullshit, and then he puts it here, right? Look at this. Look at these headlines. Uber has been forced to raise its prices following a drop number of drivers. Jackass. That was last year. Okay, next one. Pandemic led to a massive drop of, and this article is December 5th, Chris. Look at this guy putting this cut and paste bullshit.
Just the other day.
Yeah.
yesterday.
And look at this. He's putting shit that was valid last August, bro. If you consider yourself a journalist, you should do a little bit more research, James Gordon, because this is garbage. Okay, shove it. So then you go, yeah, behind the wheel, following. I go like, this is like perfect for Uber. How much did Uber pay you to write this shit, bro? Anyway, so Uber had to raise prices, but yeah, that was last August. You look what they're doing now, James and Dara. Yeah, nothing. The other way. Anyway, so I just wanted to point this out that don't read the garbage, out there, because these journalists have no clue. There's like 2-3 that I trust and I talk to. These guys are all fluff. So,
well, not only that though, the other aspect of it is, the earnings call is exactly what had happened. They said that drivers are back. They say that in most markets it's fully rebounded since the pandemic. And you know what? Here's the thing. There could be some driver shortages, and there could be people who aren't driving during the holidays. Why? Uber did not show the money on the holidays. Do you know how many people I've seen saying that there were no quests, no bonuses, no promotions on the weekend and the weekdays of Thanksgiving?
Zero.
In
California, the first time that is, as far as I can go back and remember it, in California, there were no quests. Zero quests. Okay, so I'm out there driving the other day, people. Good morning, Sergio. Where would you like to go? Okay, DK and everybody that's watching this, please focus your eyes on 6 screenshots that I took and then just kind of put it together. This is LA, people. Do you see those little dots on the goddamn map? That's like a square mile. That's us. That's drivers right there on top of each other, literally, like, I'm not going to say the word, a colony. Okay, there you go. There you go. If we're not oversaturated, this is one little square mile. Look at this. Drivers on top of each other. And that's why your utilization.
You know what it reminds me of? Did you see that video with the delivery robots that they were showing that they were all like congested together?
Yeah, they got all stuck.
That's what it reminds me of. It looks like all the little robots that are sitting together right now.
Yeah, this is LA, people. This is LA, one of the largest Uber markets. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is embarrassing. Okay. And of course, when that happens, when everybody is on top of each other looking for a slice of crumbs or bread, crumbs, literally crumbs now. Look what Uber map looks like. By the way, Jay changed this shit again to me. Look, one morning I woke up, I saw this, all gray clouds, all over covering LA as opposed to surge. I'm going like, couldn't you guys pick a better goddamn color? It's depressing already. Look at this color, Chris. I mean, does this make you appetizing to get on the road? Look at this. No. But they put the dollar signs. They put all those dollar signs. They go like, oh, it's busy here. Go here, make the dollars.
You know what they should do? If they want to do it smart, they would make that green. Just the dollar signs they would make green, so it's like look
the way it was before.
There. But
no surge. There's no surge in LA. They killed the surge, bro. Because when you have these many drivers out, they don't need to put the surge on because their density. Look at this fucking density. Every street corner has. This is, by the way, this is only Uber. I guarantee you, if I took Lyft at the same time simultaneously, that would be 8 more on top of this 8.
Oh yeah. Or I mean, there would be a couple that would double up the same, but. Yeah, that's a lot.
No, bro.
That's way too many around. See, this is the other thing. This is the other thing. The question is, how many of those drivers on those 6 screenshots are driving with somebody in the car? This is why you should probably hit stop new requests coming in. And then that screenshot right there that just shows your dead blue and grays would maybe light up a little bit and provide some surge for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
telling you, it's bad out there. I mean, LA is a top market. It's bad out there. It's as bad as I've seen it. So when DK says we need more earners, bro, we don't need more earners for the existing earners to earn more. Okay, we need less earners for the existing earners to earn more. How about that? There you go. I think I said that correctly.
I get your point. I don't know if you said that right, but I was following along, and I'm sure everybody else was too. But. Yeah, the whole thing is it's something where, usually around the holidays, it's actually pretty good when it comes to driving and getting out there and making some extra money.
Bro, it was horrible.
This year is going to be a different year. And, I want to chalk it up a lot to just the economy itself. Inflation, layoffs. A lot of people 100%. Are looking for extra money. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are just trying to break even, put food on the table. They're coming into the gig economy because let's be real, Uber and Lyft back from about 2015 to about 2018, almost 2019, did a hell of a job at marketing to drivers to come on the platform, which in turn made people think, hey, I'm not really I don't want to drive right now, but today, fast forward a couple of years after all that marketing, they still have it in their head saying, rideshare might be a really great opportunity. You know, I'm hurting right here. I got some time off.
It's easy,
I
couple hundred
might
bucks.
have
Yeah.
time. But in actuality, all the drivers that are already out on the road, you know, it could be a very tough winter. So just be careful out there with everything when it comes to it. You know, try to implement some of the things. Again, you know, don't accept garbage trips, decline it.
Okay.
And you know, stop new requests from coming in when you have some butt in the car.
Okay, can I answer this question? Because if a driver is going to car ride, their car doesn't show. Their car does show, sir. Their car does show within 2 miles of drop-off as an available driver. If you did not click no more new requests, Joe Driver, that answers for you. So that's how they create density, because they know when you're about to drop off, and they count you as an available car because they can ping you with garbage. So, okay, what's next? What are we doing next?
All right, let's talk about RDU and what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Okay, so listen, we did enough of this bullshit strike argument back and forth on whatever channels, this and that. We don't do that. Now, this is going to happen on December 13th. RDU is Rideshare Drivers United. Okay. They're going to put on a demonstration, not a strike. First, they said they're going to turn the apps off from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, I'm with that. And they said they're going to picket. They're going to block. They're going to be actually in front of the courthouse in downtown LA. So whoever's in LA, you're more than welcome to come. Guess what? I'm going. Now, I'm not going to wear one of those shirts, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to observe. We may even live stream from there and interview some people, right? Interview some drivers. So if you guys want to come see my actual mug in person, you're more than welcome. Come introduce yourself. I'll be there in my RSG hat. I support these guys. Let's see what kind of numbers they're going to be. I mean, you know, if there are going to be a few hundred of them out there in those green shirts and blocking downtown roads and in front of the courthouse, you know, I'm in support. I'll be there. And just like I said, you guys can go to their website. It's there. You just have to sign up for an RSVP for the demonstration so they know you're going. I clicked on both Tuesday, December 13th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and downtown LA, Ronald Reagan State Building. Everybody knows who lives in LA. It's the Superior Courthouse. And they're also doing it in San Francisco in front of another courthouse. So it's a rally, demonstration, protest, whatever the hell you want to call it. And their bullet points is pay cuts. We know UFD is a pay cut. And up top it says they have slashed our prices again, pay again. Let's be frank, the new upfront pricing scam is a pay cut. I agree. Inflation at 8%, gas prices doubled. Okay, I agree. Working longer hours for less pay. I agree. No safety protections. I kind of agree. So there you go. I'm going to be there. If you guys want to come see me, I'll be there. And
you can shake a few hands.
I support this action. And I'm going to be there. So that's it.
All right. Yeah, it's the thing is, it's just raising awareness, and I think you should talk to Nicole and say, hey, look, I want to talk to the people here, and then talk about some of the things.
I talked to her already. She says, yeah, you're more than welcome to show up, because last time she wasn't happy that we kind of gave her a little hard time here, right?
Well, you know what?
But you know, we made up. I mean,
hey,
man.
You know what? My whole thing is, I don't want to be an employee. Most people don't want to be employees. If that's what they're pushing for, that's my alignment is not with them. I align with what their overall, I mean, not with their overall, but with their intention. I just don't align with their overall goal.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree.
You know what I align with? So far, I have seen only one model truly work, and I think it works. I'm always for a win-win-win. The win of the driver, the win of a passenger's experience, because if they're not having a good time, they're not going to order and, you know, do whatever. So that means less demand. But you want to have the driver win, so the driver's out there making money. But you also need the platforms to win. So there can be a win-win-win. The only model I've seen so far is the one in Washington.
New York City is doing well. New York City is doing pretty well.
But New York City is a little different because of the TNC that's there. So
I know that, but you know what?
Issue.
I did not agree with the strike. You know, and you can't strike because you're an independent contractor. Independent contractors cannot strike. You have to be employees. Like the rail strike, right? The Biden overruled the shit. You know, like I don't know. But anyway, so they can strike because they're part of a union. Now, LAUSD, where my kids go to school, LAUS teachers, you know, they're asking for a 20% pay hike. Well, that's because inflation is out of control, right? And then the only people who are immune to inflation supposedly are rideshare drivers, according to, you know.
No, the rideshare company.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they raise the prices on the passenger with the inflation, but they don't pass it on to me. I'm like, tires are more, gas is more, maintenance is more, oil changes are more, everything is more. I mean, there you go. Like,
in fact, they actually we've seen a little bit of a decrease overall, and some people are your numbers, but other people are going to see a bigger increase. So couple that. How does that make sense? Like that doesn't make sense at all. It's the dangling of the carrot in front of you. Oh, you can make quick money, but if you're not paying attention, you could lose out on money. So we don't want you.
RDU, I'm going to be there, people. Let's see what this is all about. I've been there before on a couple other demonstrations, so I'll be there. And let's see.
Take some hands. Tell people to turn off the app when to stop new requests. Client garbage.
We'll preach the gospel there too, and then talk to drivers and talk to some journalists or whatever. And I think it should be a good turnout. Hopefully, it's not going to rain. And
the only thing is just make sure you're back in time, so then we can have Show Me the Money Club next week.
It's 8 to 12. I figured. Otherwise, I would have said no. Yeah, and I'll be back in time. Actually, reporting on it. That'll be kind of cool. Yeah. So actually, I'll just upload some videos for you and whatever.
All right.
Cool. I'll be there. So welcome all drivers who are in our LA community on the Show Me the Money Club. We'll make our own little group. The funny thing is, if our group is bigger than the RDU group,
well, that's a possibility. But either way, one of the things is that we just said, hey, there's a little bit oversaturation of drivers out on the road when it comes to rideshare. Again, the gig economy has grown much more than just rideshare. There's food delivery, last mile delivery. There's this, there's that. There's so many different things. One of the things is a side hustle. So every week we like to highlight different side hustles out there. This week is no different. This one is pretty cool. At least for
I like
me.
This side hustle, bro. I like this one. I mean, okay. Yeah, I picked this one. By the way, there are two apps. Okay. One is called Wags. You can download and walk dogs, like multiple dogs, if you want to make more money. Okay. And there is another one called Rover, right? And that's that one. So, hey, man, if you like animals, if you like dogs, you can, Rover is more like dog sitting services. Those people charge a lot of money for dog hotels and shit like that, right? So I'm like, if you like animals, here you go. There is your side hustle. Screw driving, plus, guess what? When you're around an animal, your blood pressure goes down, right? It's great. So, hey, it's proven. It's medically proven. Hey, man.
Well, not only that, but let's take a look at, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours in your car sitting there, maybe getting up once or twice, go get gas, get something to eat, maybe charge your car if you got an EV, but you're probably, sitting in there watching something or playing a game.
No,
but here, you're walking your dog. You're walking dogs. So you're getting up. You're not only are you having fun with dogs, because dogs are amazing, but you're getting out. You're walking. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, man. I love this. You know what?
Many different things.
This is great. And it says they charge between $25 and $35 per day to leave their dog at such doggy daycare. If you have if you have a house, obviously an apartment will be tough, but if you have a house, nice backyard, whatever, get a few dogs in there, $100 a day, boom, there you go. I think this is like pretty cool, right? If you like animals, this is your thing. Hey, WeZoom is here. WeZoom is going to be at the rally. He says, okay, WeZoom, we'll see you there. But yeah, I think, you guys gotta look at, just like Bryce said, right? You gotta have like apps, man, apps galore on your phone. You gotta have 6, 7, 8, and go whoever shows you the money.
Out there.
Do the rest of it.
Yeah, there's so many out there. I mean, like that's the whole thing on the channel. Like Tyler just did a video talking about different apps that are out there that you may not have heard of. or maybe you did, but just kind of making you aware of the many apps that are out there. There's so many out there, and not only that, there's ones that are true independent contracting work, where like Upwork, where you can actually, or Fiverr, or different things where you can actually post different services. Thumbtack and all these, TaskRabbit. You can put up different things out there and come up with an agreement with the person or with the people that you're going to service, or whatever it might be. So there's a lot more than just, rideshare, food delivery, last mile. There's a lot of different things. I mean, hell, you could even cuddle people, and you don't even have to be in the same room. I don't get that, but hey, cool. So there's a lot of different side hustles out there. We want to highlight different ones. So biggest thing is, if it's something that's interesting to you, it's something you can follow up with, something you can look into, or it can give you inspiration on maybe finding your dream and making it into a reality, and take your plan A, or I'm sorry, take your plan B, make it into a plan A. You want to have more than one coal in the fire.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Chris is right. I mean, when he said it's going to be a long winter, we're not, trying to. Oh, thank you, Weezum. Yes, we will buy tacos. We're downtown, bro. That's the best taco trucks on the planet.
You gotta ship me a couple tacos then.
We're gonna do that, but we're gonna be tired from yelling and screaming. So this is what's, I mean, look at those pictures of oversaturation. Okay, don't listen to these CEOs and these garbage journalists, bro. We're out there. We know what the hell is going on. Markets are extremely oversaturated. Your utilization rate is going down. You got a multi-app to utilize your 60 minutes as well as you can. And yeah, it's a long winter, but guess what? When inflation kind of dies with what they're doing, well, it'll take a while, but you can't blame other drivers being out there trying to make a couple $100 extra, okay, a week. And those are all those drivers that, part-timers, they don't know shit from Shinola. They go, accept, let me make my $100 and go home. They're hurting everybody, but then, the only thing we can do is educate. And next week we're going to start education, because a lot of people are in the gig economy without knowing that they're not making money, or actually they're making less than minimum wage in their city. If you're at that level and you don't know your costs, there is no way of knowing that. So stop doing this shit. Go get a goddamn job. See, we're on a rideshare channel, but I'm telling you, people, you go get a job. Go stand somewhere and make $18-20 an hour. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to hurt your back and put miles on your car. When shit's better, we'll let you guys know. We all get out on the streets. Bonuses are better. Everything is better. We'll go do rideshare again. Rideshare is always going to be here. They're not going anywhere. But we're going to start educating, saying, find the true numbers for yourself, the true costs, and your net. Because the $100 you see in your app is not $100. It's probably more like 65 to 70. Okay, there you go.
And there's quite a few factors that you'll be able to figure out based on your vehicle, different things like that. Because every vehicle is going to be different. You got a much different cost between my Jeep Grand Cherokee versus a Toyota Prius or something. So you're gonna have a lot different. And then just wrapping it up real quick. Thanks for watching and hanging out with all of us, and sharing everything that we got. But also head over to Rideshare Rodeo's channel. I'm not sure when he's going to post that, but we both were on his show that we recorded yesterday, and it's either coming out or is out or just came out. I'm not sure yet. So we had a pretty good, interesting conversation over there too. So make sure you check that out. Again, Bryce from Solo was on earlier. So if you want more information on Solo, link is going to be in the description. And if you are in San Francisco or LA and you want to take part in the RDU, or even just look at what they're doing, link is going to be in the description as well too. And then try Rover, and what was the other one? Rover and what?
Oh, the apps?
Yeah.
Wags.
Wags. Is that WAGS or
WAGS? It's like wag the dog, like wag the tail. Yeah, wags.
Okay.
So the other thing, by the way, hey Chris, next week we'll have a giveaway for 5 winners. We have to think of who the winners are going to be. It's a company called Pharmacy. Like pharmacy, but it's a carmacy. Like car, it's like a pharmacy in your car.
Ooh.
They sell good shit, like for drivers. It's really nice setup. I got one.
We got to play that song.
No.
You know what song I'm talking about?
No, I don't know which song.
I'll tell you after.
Okay. Oh no, yeah. No, Carmacy, and then they're generous enough to offer 5 fully loaded packages to drivers.
Nice.
And we'll show you what that is next week, and we'll announce the winners the week after once we show that. How about that? So we have to come up with a contest for 5 winners.
Oh, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, with that being said, also the other thing, make sure you check your app. Go back to pre-upfront earnings details.
Yes.
See if you see the comparison prices there, because you're actually going to see it right there broken down. You're going to, if you click on the map, you're going to see the map. You're going to see what you made. Right underneath that is going to show the upfront fare. If you scroll up a little bit more to see what's underneath that, you're going to see what you were paid. If you scroll up a little bit more, you're going to see what the upfront fare breakdown would be. So if you want to check that out, then see if you have it, because not everybody does. Some people do, some people don't. And this is a great way to see a direct comparison between what the old way, what the new way is, and you can figure out exactly how much you may be earning, more or less. And so far, it looks like it is a pay cut across the board.
It's a less, but hopefully yours is not as more than mine. I mean, mine was 2.5, right? Okay, we're done. Okay, so 20. So okay, we're done. We finished.
Yep. All right. So you guys have a good rest of your nights. Make sure you smash that like button. I'm going to say that. I don't care what Gabe says. Smash the like button. Let us know, and then just stay tuned. Audio podcast version will be available tomorrow for this. So thank you everybody for stopping by, hanging out.
Hold on. Michelle is here. Hey, I mentioned you like 4 times. I sent you an email. Please read your.
I hope your ears were ringing.
Email. I so much appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much. That's okay. You can watch the replay. Keep those spreadsheets coming, Michelle. We're working on it. But I sent you your response. So anyway, so thumbs up, everybody, please. Have a safe week and weekend. And I was going to say, go get that $40 an hour, but it's not there.
Well, either way, we'll see next week what's going on with the RDU. We'll talk about a lot of different things, plus our little giveaway. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Take care.